How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is the second episode or second live stream of post episode 7. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Jody, I see you out there. How you doing tonight? I love playing American Falls. I am so glad to hear that. I know you're looking so forward to that map coming out, and it finally came out just the other day. How much time have you spent on it already? I'm just curious. So far my day is going fantastic. I am having a great day. And you are doing good as well. I am glad to hear that. That is excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, it has been a good day. I'm going to discuss it here tonight just a little bit. Yeah, I'm rather excited. So we'll see how things go with the. Got 25 hours on it. That's awesome. Holy smokes. So you've got to have like a ton of progress on there already. Just chugging along. That's excellent. That's excellent. We're just going to wait a few more minutes to see who else joins us here. Just give them some time to come into the room. Yeah, I did the map tour on that Monday night, and yeah, when I first kind of hopped on to do kind of take my notes and all that stuff, I knew that that was going to be a map that was really going to be up there on my rating scale. It was just so nice. And like I'd mentioned in the tour itself, I was going through it and it just felt like home. Like it felt like somewhere I've actually been and have spent a long time in. It felt comfortable. And yeah, I was really excited to see that one when that was dropping. He makes awesome maps. I think he'll be back on next installment. You know, I really hope so. I really hope so. No, they Lancey Boy specifically said that this was it for FS22. So I'm hoping that that was kind of foreshadowing, saying, just this game, just 22. You know, maybe with 25 or whatever the next installment is, they'll be back at it. Here, I'll keep my fingers crossed because. Oh, that's just a real shame that it's you know, that was it. That is the end for Lancey Boy in 22. You know, at a minimum. So I was really bummed out to hear that, but at least we can all say that he went out with a bang. Like that map was just top notch. Let's see. There's another map coming out of Allen, Missouri. Okay. I haven't heard that one. I've been, you know what? I've been really bad here lately. Haven't been keeping up with the mod list here lately. I've been so busy that I just haven't gone out and clicked on it to see what's new and what's coming up, kind of thing. So I've just been really out of the loop. Now, if there's anybody out there just hanging out, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. Let me know that you're out there. Just need to know that that you're there, because unfortunately YouTube does not do the greatest of jobs letting me know how many people are out there and whatnot. So yeah, give yourself a shout if you're out there. Let's see, I think he's gonna take all year off and then come back. I hope so. I really hope so. That would be a huge loss to the community if we forever lost Lancey. And you know what? It is a huge loss to the community. You know, there's so many things that Lancey Boys come out with, so many mods, so many maps that, you know, to think that we're not going to get anything else from them is just a real shame, and especially for the reasoning behind it. You know, that kind of burnout slash, you know, people in the background kind of thing, you know, chirping away. You know, it's so silly, so silly. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they take that time off and then they come back reinvigorated and really just wanting to chomp at the bit to really get something out there that they really want to get done. And who knows, for all we know, they might just go ahead and just start plugging away in the background at some ideas and stuff that they wanted to do to really sharpen their teeth and really kind of come back at it, you know, twice as hard. You know, here's hoping. Here's hoping. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So, got a few contracts I'm going to work on here. And as you can see, I have to overcome this nonsense. This is how this piece of equipment spawned. As you can tell, I have a bunch of not leased, but borrowed equipment. So hopefully I can just kind of bump into this thing and knock it back over. Or I can just, you know, ride up the side of it and pretend nothing ever happened. Oh, come on. Oh dear. It's like demolition derby up in here. Oh, you know what? What am I thinking? I've got to... Work smarter, not harder, Dave. That's what my father would always tell me whenever we were doing construction or anything like that. Is, you know, use your brain, use your head, work smarter, not harder. You know what? This is the bottom of it, so let's come at it from the other side. Nice. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, let's go ahead and put this back, and then we can actually get going on the contract rather than messing around. Drop that down. Perfect. Then we'll turn around. Let's go ahead and get this hooked up and sent out. So this is all for field number 7. Speaking of which, let's turn on the... nope, that. Perfect. Yeah, so field number 7's up towards the north. Wow, really? Did I really just leave without hooking up my trailer? Oh, man, it's going to be one of those kind of streams. We're going to get silly early tonight. I hope you're ready for it. Silly Dave is a fun Dave, I've been told. Alright, so send this. Yeah, we'll go about right here. Definitely went out with a bang. Yes, I 100% agree. It's like I said, I gave it a 4.5 to 5, somewhere in that ballpark. And, you know, I've been sitting here and kind of thinking about it, and it's one of... Whoops. And it's one of those that I don't think it's necessarily a 5er. And the only reason I say that is it's a great map. It is a great map. But there was the 1 or 2 small issues that I noticed that are going to require that small update. You know, the stop signs is the one I really kind of pointed out kind of thing. And it's one of those, it's not a huge deal. It's not like something that's going to break the map and prevent people from playing it. But it also shouldn't be necessarily anything that is going to require a new save game when the update does come out. But it's just one of those, like, just aesthetics. It's with a map, or I'm sorry, with a game such as this, it's all simulation. It's all supposed to be about that kind of real life feel of farming. And with the stop signs being so far away kind of thing, it kind of has that little jolt, that little shock, you know, outside of the immersion, and kind of takes you out of it ever so slightly. Like I said, it's not a huge deal, but it's enough to where I can't say that I would want to give it a 5 only because of that. And as soon as it's fixed, then 5s. 5s across the board in every possible category that I could even imagine. What is this one again? This one is 27. 27 is down here, isn't it? 24, 25, aha, 27. So we will go about right here. Nope. Okay, there they go. Oops. I tell you what, I'm batting 1,000 tonight. Mark K, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Nice of you to join us. Hope you had a good day. Let's see. Then we're going to take this piece of... Whoa, there's cars coming. All right, so I'm going to go on and talk about why it was such a good day today. And I tell you what, it really, really was. So the other day, like I was mentioning in the previous live stream, I was having a meeting with some of the higher ups, and turns out that... Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. Anyways, I was having a meeting with the higher ups, and turns out that the COO of the company, who I've worked with many times on many different projects, had personally recommended me for a new job opening. And it was a rather interesting experience. Like, they unfortunately weren't on the call, the COO, but the person who I'm now going to be reporting to was, and was kind of giving me the highlights of the new job. And they were telling me just how highly recommended I come, not just from them, but from everybody that they have mentioned my name to. And it was a pretty wild experience, simply because so many people are saying such good things about you and whatnot, who you just kind of, have, I don't know, kind of, I don't want to say like fleeting relationships with, but kind of one of those where you're just kind of there in the background kind of thing, or at least that's how I felt. It helps if I turn into the implement. And it was just one of those where, when they had mentioned that, not only was the COO talking, real nice things about me, but then several other people who was within their immediate sphere, oh, that's... Oh, okay. I was about to say. So not only were they telling me that things were going good, and that they wanted me on this new team, but that many other people were singing my praises as well. And it was one of those, it was incredibly humbling to hear how so many people were saying such good things about me behind my back. And not that I expect anybody to be saying anything bad about me behind my back, especially when it comes to work. But it's one of those that, I guess, when the COO, one or two people below the highest ranking person in the company, is saying such great things about you. And it's not that I work for like a small company or anything like that. It's a very, very large company. And hey, hi. Like I said, this is going to be one of those episodes. It's going to be one of those streams where everything that could go wrong will go wrong. Can I hook up from here? Okay. We're just going to go there because this is just down the street. So let's see. Let's catch up to the chat real quick before I get going. So, Mark, oh hi, loving it. Jody, that's what I love about this game. It makes you feel a part of it. Yes, absolutely. Mark, what is that machine? So the one I'm in right now is the New Holland Harvester. So this is what I'm going to use to harvest corn for one of my contracts here. So I have this field off to my left where I just parked this trailer, ready for me to go ahead and start doing what's called headlands. And that's what a headland is the most outer edge of a field. So what you typically do is you start on the most outer edge of a field, depending on how the field is set up, and then you start going around the most outer perimeter to be able to make room for you to be able to start turning around and going in whatever direction you want to go in, kind of the back and forths. So it's one of those that you just want to kind of create spaces. Now, in this particular map, you really don't necessarily have to create headlands because there's so much kind of boundary space around each of the fields, but that's okay. Making a headland isn't going to be the end of the world. And it also kind of helps the AI to not be right up against the kind of outer border of the field. If you give them just a little bit of space to work with, then they tend to want to, do the job just a little bit neater. let's see. Jody, I'm harvesting my cornfield right now. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Because now, are you still playing on American Falls, or are you just playing like on other maps? Because as best as I can tell, it sounds like you've got at least 2 or 3 different maps running at a single time. But no, going back to what I was talking about, though, it's one of those things that I was really kind of worried about, because I had gotten word that, you know, I was going to get talked to by several people, and it was regarding some potential, you know, job opportunities, and I didn't know who the people were, so that was kind of off-putting. I don't, not off-putting. Nerve-wracking is probably a better word. To kind of, you know, be speaking with somebody who you're not familiar with and all that stuff, and then to be talking about, you know, either potential job opportunities and whatnot, and that it was coming as coming from such a high place within the company. It was very nerve-wracking. It's one of those situations where you almost can't say no, you know, regardless on how you may or may not want to do it, kind of thing, because it's coming from such a high level that if you kind of don't agree to it, then you might not have a job for too much longer, kind of thing. So it's one of those that it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that I was going to say yes, but one of those that I was really nervous to say yes in case it was one of those jobs where they kind of over evaluated my skill sets, kind of thing. I don't know. But thankfully, after hearing everything and everything kind of working itself out, it does sound like it's going to be really up my alley, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be kind of a change of pace and really get me some exposure to a lot of people who I wouldn't normally have that exposure with. You know, the particular COO that I've dealt with on a few occasions, I dealt with her before she was COO. She was either a director or, you know, still a pretty high position in the company, but one of those where you know, very, very rarely was I doing work for her as a COO. And actually, the most recent thing I've done for her, she was COO, and I didn't realize it. I must have missed the email saying that they were now the COO, kind of thing, or I'd read it and just didn't absorb it, kind of thing, which is also quite as likely. But it's one of those, yeah, it's like I said, it's been a really good day to just kind of get that, you know, off my back, and, you know, have the kind of anxiety kind of relieve itself now that more answers have come in. It's one of those, I was mentioning in the last live stream how I was very anxious and really kind of on edge about the whole situation, because mainly it was the whole not knowing what might happen kind of thing. And of course, my brain going to the worst case scenario is one of those, you know, just get you to worry. And thankfully I was worried over nothing, kind of thing, or at least it seems like it so far, based on everything I have going. So just one of those, you know, just glad that it's over, glad that I have more information, kind of thing. Let me catch back up with the chat here. Harvesting corn. Yes, I'm still on American Folk. Nice. Bye from it. Okay, Mark, hey, thanks for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate you stopping in for a few minutes. Hope you all have a great night. And then Jody, hey, you got 4 maps. Holy smokes. Oh, wow, I almost made a full headland. Let's go ahead and... go ahead and put this over here. then once I get this part finished, then I probably go ahead and just set the worker off, and I can get working on another field. And then we get to play the whole bouncing back and forth kind of thing. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to move this over here. Hey, Crimea River, how you doing tonight? Hope you had a fantastic day so far. Go ahead and get the going there. Okay, perfect. So they should carry on. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, hello. I parked. Apparently I had the worker leave it perfectly right behind the trailer here. Let's see, this looks like a nice big placeable area here. Like you can really build this area up. I'll have to remember that. What's funny is because I've only just started the series, I'm only 7 episodes in, I'm still getting used to all the various bits and parts on this map, and I'm still discovering and finding things, which is really cool. I mean, that's one of the things I really like about doing a new Let's Play series, especially on a map that I haven't been on or I really have very little experience with, is that you still get that kind of ooh and ah factor. You know, that kind of, I don't know if I'm the only one, but whenever I'm on a map, especially one that I'm really liking, I kind of get that a tingle in my, like, in between my shoulder blades. It's like, oh, like this I'm really kind of feeling like I'm seeing and like experiencing some kind of magic with this particular map. And I got it with this map. I got it with American Falls just the other day. Like, there's so many maps out there where you get that kind of feeling of this is something special. And like I said, even to this day, 7 episodes deep and still kind of getting familiar with the layout and what's all available on this map, I can still sit here and be like, you know what, that's a really cool site, you know, or this is, like, looking around and like kind of still be in that kind of awe phase. And yeah, I really like this map. Let's see, Crimea River, I'm doing good. Had another hot day. Oh yeah, I hear you there. It was brutal here. We ended up, my wife and I took my daughter to the splash pad that's just down the road from us. One of our local parks has a little, like, water park splash area that's open to the public kind of thing. And yeah, it was brutally hot. My daughter had a ball, but it was one of those that, you know, my wife and I were hot sopping messes at like 5:30, just sitting out there in the sun, just watching her run around, having a good old time. And then by the time we left, we shattered her calm and she was no longer happy. One of those that she was just so happy to be there that when we told her, all right, it's time to leave, she was not too thrilled. But sometimes you gotta not disappoint your children, but you gotta, you know, just let them cry it out and kind of deal with it, kind of thing. You know, and to this day, you know, she's a year and a half, and it still breaks my heart whenever she cries like that, like when she really gets upset and there's no real good way of consoling her, kind of thing. But it's one of those that I also have to sit there and remind myself, no, it's okay. She can suck it up, and, you know, she doesn't have to be happy all the time, kind of thing. So the sad realities of parenthood is, you want your kids to be happy and you want them to, be able to do nothing but smile and have fun all the time, but you can't have that all the time. They have to have some hardships, and hopefully you can mitigate, as a parent, mitigate their hardships, and not let things get too hard for them to where it's misery. Like it goes from pain that can be experience building and growing to just hurt and like beyond something that they're capable of dealing with, something that they're able to grow from, kind of thing, to where it's almost kind of crippling in that effect. Oh man, but yeah, the weather around here has been just absolutely miserable hot. Like, we had the hurricane that blew by just, what was it, last week or the week before, and when the hurricane blew through, it had cooled down like several degrees. Like, it was, I've never actually experienced that, and I've been here in Florida for over, well, yeah, over 20 years now, and I've never experienced the hurricane as it passed by. And I've been, through quite a few hurricanes where, they pass by, and I've been on the good side, I've been on the bad side. And for those of you who are not familiar with, the dynamics of a hurricane, just a little, little bit of weather knowledge here. Whenever you're on the western, or whenever you're in the midst of a hurricane, you really want to be on one side of it versus another. And specifically, you want to be on the western side of a hurricane. Now, typically, you're going to get just a little bit of rain, but you're not going to get a ton of flooding or anything like that. You're just going to get, you're going to get a little bit of wind. You're not going to get a ton of rain or like the potential for tornadoes and things like that. Things that are going to be really damaging to the local area, kind of thing. But with this particular hurricane, we were actually on the east side of it, and that's, they call the dirty side of a storm. And what ends up happening is you get lots of wind, lots of rain, and the potential for things like tornadoes to spawn, and because you're getting all sorts of converging air currents and all that stuff, and you can have, they call them either spin-offs or things like that. So it's one of those that, for this particular hurricane, we were on the bad side. Now, thankfully, it was just far enough away from us to where we only caught like the outermost stuff, so we just saw a little bit of wind and a lot of rain. That was about it. So it wasn't like we were catching much damage or anything like that. We got a lot of flooding in our local area, but that was about it. Nothing right immediately by us because we're far enough away from the coast that the storm surges didn't hit and didn't do anything. But it was one of those that, like I said, we got very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. And then on top of all that, once the storm had passed, we had experienced a very, very large degree drop in temperature. So we were getting like upper 80s for a few days. And I've never experienced that where when the storm has passed, where it is, I've seen where it's dropped the degrees down several degrees because, one, the sun's not out and it's not able to, warm up the same way it would normally. But this one was different because it actually knocked the heat and humidity out of the air for several days. And it's only just now starting to creep back up, and the temperatures and the humidity is starting to get back up there. So it was rather interesting when that happened. Let's see. Tomorrow is going to be 92 degrees. Then the temps start to drop in the mid 80s. Oh, well, that's awesome. Hopefully that lasts you for a while, to where it can, stay, not be so miserably hot. Especially because you mentioned that it affects you so much. So here's hoping that that starts to bring some relief for you. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm real happy about that. Hopefully that means too that once things start cooling off up there, hopefully that means that it's going to start making its way down to us here in Florida. So keep my fingers crossed at least. Let's see. Now we have to watch for Hurricane Lee. Yes, I think that's the one out in the middle of the Atlantic right now, right? Yeah, definitely keeping an eye out for the rest of the storms. We still got a few more, probably about a solid month or so before we can really kind of write off the rest of the hurricane season. So, thankfully around here we're all stocked up with supplies and fuel and all that stuff, and things are starting to get back to normal with the fuel supply around here. Unfortunately, you get all those yahoos that don't prepare whatsoever for a cataclysmic event before there even a potential to happen. And it always surprises me, because you're in Florida, like you're in probably the most well-known state for hurricanes in the entire country, and every single year inevitably happens to where you get a bunch of people when the first storm starts to come into view and they put us into the cone and all that stuff. You get an absolute run on all the gas stations, all the grocery stores, and it's almost as bad as when the virus in 2020 hit. And when that happened, you couldn't find toilet paper and all that stuff. Thankfully it doesn't get that ridiculous anymore, but I mean, you see all the canned goods are gone, the SpaghettiOs, like soup, water, all that stuff is just gone. Gasoline in the local area. And I remember back when Irma came through, and all the gas, like you couldn't find gas for a solid 200 miles in any direction. That's the one where my wife and I had to run from it, and we slept in the gas station overnight because we couldn't or no, was that Irma or Ian? It was one of those eyes. Storms with eyes have it out for us, something fierce. I don't know what the story is with it, but whenever a storm with an eye comes up, that's when I start to get a little twitchy. Let's see. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you guys also. Oh, for sure. Hopefully that El Nino really kicks in and starts shifting the storm more to the north and to the east. Kind of hooks it back out. I haven't actually looked at the latest model, but last I saw it was kind of shifting kind of north and west is the kind of trajectory at this point from where it was out in the Atlantic. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, if it does hit this way, it hits from the east coast and travels across, and by the time it gets to the west coast, it's pretty much either a small hurricane or a tropical storm at that point, so it's not really even on our radar at that point. But we'll see how it goes. Just keep our fingers crossed and stay stocked up. Like I said, whenever storm season hits, I always go out and I'll get my gas early, right when the season starts. I go out and get food, and so we've got several weeks worth of food for all of us, kind of thing. And it's one of those that I'm not going to say I'm a prepper kind of thing, but maybe prepper light kind of thing. And it's not a bad thing, in my opinion. It's not a bad thing for people to be prepared in case of an emergency, in case of a disaster kind of thing, because you never know. You can have just a rogue storm, a tornado kind of thing. It could knock out power for weeks, especially for an area that's not used to seeing something like that. So it's one of those that if you have the ability to make sure that you're stocked up and you always have at least something in the background, something to kind of, tide you over for a little while. At least a couple of weeks, kind of thing, just to be safe, because there's no guarantee that power is going to be on tomorrow, kind of thing. All right, so now we can start emptying things out. Oh, hello. Looks like I need to do one more headland at the road here. Looks like it's not making it all the way through. Let's see. So we're just going to empty this out. Where is this going? 81 is going to where? I think I have 3 contracts that are going to all the different places. The restaurant, the resale cereals, and the 0KM. Okay. So this one in particular is going to 0KM. There we go. So most of you know how recently I signed up for Instagram and other social medias. And me personally, I've never been a huge fan of social medias and things like that, just on a personal note. But I figured that when I signed up for it, it'd be good to kind of get it out there to be able to increase the reach and to be able to keep people informed of what's going on in the channel. So it's one of those that it's a good tool to have in my back pocket, kind of thing. Well, I just so happened to get on there today. I think it was today, and was going through the stories of Instagram, and I basically followed all the manufacturers that are available here in Farming Simulator 22. I went through, because on Giants' webpage, they have all the various manufacturers that they have licensed here in the game. So I went through and literally just followed every single one of them on all social medias. And I was going through the stories, and one of them just so happened to pop up where I think it was... Oh, I can't remember who exactly it was off the top of my head. It might have been Rosselmash, or it might have been... Anyways, it was some harvester company. And again, I can't remember who. But it was one of their customers, somebody that they had, had purchased one of their products, and specifically a harvester. And what they had done is... there was somebody standing out in the middle of a field, and it almost looked like they may have been relieving themselves, to put it nicely. And they ended up in the harvester, driving past them, opening up the spout there on the harvester, and then dumping a bit of the product, the grain or whatever they were harvesting, on top of them while they were in the middle of their business there. And I tell you what, just the look on their, like, you couldn't see them, like the look on them, but you could just tell, like, they were just angry / like, okay, you got me, kind of thing. So it was one of those, I was just rolling. I was having a hard time breathing. I was laughing so hard. Because it's one of those things that I could see myself doing. Is if I was out in the field and I saw somebody, out there doing their thing, it's like, okay, I can justify wasting a little bit of product on the ground just to have a good time, kind of thing. So I was laughing pretty good, and that's the kind of humor I have. Is because I'm, like I said, I'm just a small child sometimes. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take care of this issue. Let's see. Nothing wrong with being prepared, especially when you have little ones. Yes, and that's something I got into the habit of even before my daughter was born, was just making sure that I had all the things necessary to be able to ride out, at least a few weeks, kind of thing. And growing up where I grew up, I used to go hunting all the time, and uh, you know, just I'm very, very self-sufficient kind of thing. So it's one of those that if something bad were to happen and it would turn into something that was prolonged, that it's one of those that I could theoretically go out into the woods and survive just fine without technology, without all the things that we have grown accustomed to, kind of thing. No, I'm not going to be happy about it. I certainly love, my computers and the internet and all that stuff. But if something were to happen, I would be able to have the skills necessary to be able to take care of myself and my wife and daughter as well. Out in the middle of nowhere without anything to our names, kind of thing. So it's one of those that you can't guarantee that nothing bad is going to happen. So having those skills in your back pocket, knowing a little something about you know plants and things that can be eaten in the wild, kind of thing. Um, good ways of starting fires and water collection and purification and stuff like that. Just having those sets of skills is not a bad thing. It's a really good, and although doesn't seem very practical in the modern times that we live in with all the modern comforts that we have, it's one of those that, like I said, you're never guaranteed to have those comforts. You're never guaranteed that tomorrow, something bad isn't going to happen, or that just a disaster that you weren't expecting to happen happens. I was when I lived in Michigan, part of the electrical grid that powers southern Michigan is powered by a Canadian hydroelectric plant just off the Detroit River. And something happened back in the early 2000s. It might have been the late 90s, early 2000s. And that power plant ended up basically exploding. Something about it ended up happening to where it just completely messed up the entire Northeast and Midwest's power grid for weeks. I mean, we were without power for over a week and a half, kind of thing. And it was just completely unexpected, kind of thing. Thankfully it happened at a time where it was in the middle of spring, so we weren't having to worry about warming our house or anything like that. And at the time, we only had kerosene heat. So we had the big kerosene drums, in the backyard, kind of thing. And that would get filled once a year. So thankfully, it's not like we were on an electric heat pump or anything like that, to where, no electric, no heat. But we didn't have to worry about that because it was in the middle of spring when that happened. And it was one of those where I think it was that experience there, losing power. And at the time, you know what? It was in the 90s because I was working for a video rental company. This is how long ago it was, is that video renting was still a thing. And I was working for them, and I would have to go in. I would have to go in with no power. Our electronic system that would check in and check out all the movies and the video games that we had on the shelves was completely down, obvious. And we had to take logs of every check-in and check-out by hand because, of course, a lot of people in our local area had things like generators and whatnot, so they were able to sit there and just run their house or their essentials, kind of things. So they would come up and rent movies every once in a while, and everybody would be, jealously asking them, "Oh, well, you got power? That's awesome." It's like, "Well, we're on a generator and blah blah blah." It's like, "Oh, well, you still suck." I'm jealous. I wish I had power, but we were just sitting there for hours upon hours for the one person who just so happened to have a generator or something like that to be able to come by and be like, "Oh, hey, I want to rent a movie tonight," kind of thing. But yeah, it is. I think it was that experience that really kind of got me like really serious about making sure that, being able to ride out at, a couple of weeks worth of hard time kind of thing. Let's see. I have people who laugh at me because I think some reason the little think of that what if. Yes, and you know what? I get the same exact thing. I get a lot of people who I know in my personal life who are like, well, why do you do this? Why do you go out of your way? Why do you spend the money? You know, you've got a small pantry loaded with stuff, you know, that could last you weeks kind of thing. Why do you do this? And I say exactly what it is I say right now. It's one of those you never know. You never know. And it's better to be safe than sorry. You know, and it's not like it's stuff that I'm never going to eat. It's not stuff that I'm never going to, you know, use, that's just going to sit there and go bad in my pantry kind of thing. It's one of those that it's going to get used, whether, you know, today, tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, a year from now, whatever the case may be. And I'd rather be able to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The resale cereals, that's where I'm going. So, yeah, and a lot of that is that kind of the mentality that people take of, oh, well, the power's on. The power's always going to be on. It's never going to turn off. It's never going to turn off for any extended period of time kind of thing. Or, you know, people can't imagine that just because we live in good times, that bad times can't happen. You know, and the way I explain it to them is, you know, our great grandparents, you know, lived through things like the Dust Bowl kind of thing. They never imagined they would have to go through that sort of hard times kind of thing. You know, our great grandparents lived through, you know, the Great War. You know, our parents lived through the Second Great War. You don't know what you're going to live through. We lived through the virus in 2020 and all the shenanigans that happened during that. The fact that anybody can sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, why do you worry about this? Why do you think it's such a big deal? Point to that. That's something in recent history. And yeah, a lot of that was just toilet paper, you know, but I can tell you with direct firsthand experience that had I not done exactly what I do now, my daughter would have been going through some very, very hard times. Because at that point, there were formula shortages. And then they had the formula plants there in Michigan shut down several times because of the insanitary conditions. And the kids getting sick from the formulas that they were producing. And then, of course, because they shut down those plants, everybody else was switching over and having to buy other products, and they couldn't keep up. So it's one of those, like, had I not heard or I had not thought ahead of, okay, well, not only, you know, could this be just a toilet paper thing, this could be a food thing, you know, this could be, you know, cleaning supplies, it could be all this stuff. All this stuff is going to be very, very hard to find because everybody's going to panic and start to go out and get things that they think they need kind of thing. And I told my wife, we need to go out and we need to, like when it first started, I told her we need to go out and have at least, you know, 8 to 10 to 12 boxes of the largest boxes we can get of her baby formula at the time. And she's like, oh, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. And then things start to really kind of get silly and out of control. And then she started seeing, like, you know, the toilet paper is starting to run short. And that's when she's like, okay, we're gonna stock up and get as much as we possibly can kind of thing. And I told her it's one of those, better safe than sorry. Better safe to have it and not need it, and eventually we'll just go through it and use it, kind of thing, and then we just won't have to buy it for a very, very long time, than be in a situation where we can't find our formula, or we can't find any formula. And there was times where it was really hard. You know, we were able to ride that out for, you know, several months of the formula not being around. And there's still times when I go to the stores to this day, there's still times when I can't find the formula that we used to give her. And it's ridiculous. I couldn't imagine being a parent and being in the boat of not knowing how to feed your kid. And I was reading stories left, right, and center of people literally trying to make their own formula for their kids. It's hard enough to be a parent nowadays. It is hard enough with all the crap that's going on in this world right now, without also having to worry about how are you going to feed your child, especially your infant. And it's one of those that's, whenever I talk to somebody who will kind of get their nose up in the air and say, oh, why do you do this stuff? That's why. It's situations like that. And it's something that I've always taken incredibly, incredibly serious. And don't let anybody tell you that you're too prepared, or you're too this, or you're too that. Because when those times happen, you'll be able to look at them and be like, hey, I got what I need. You know, and not saying that to you know, be mean or anything like that. You know, don't ever go to somebody and be like gloating over them, because that just makes you a jerk. But it's one of those that then becomes their worry, and then you have nothing to worry about. So anyways, we kind of got on a little bit of a tirade there, but one of those that I don't know. I kind of have a bit of passion about that one because of are we on? Oh, we're on 81. Okay, so this needs to go. Okay, so I can go over to this road up here and then take it out to the east. Like I said, don't let anybody tell you that you're too anything, kind of thing. If you're happy with, you know, what you're doing and whatnot, and you're doing it safely, kind of thing, you know, there's always, you know, I shouldn't, let me rephrase this. There are times where you can go overboard, kind of thing. But as long as you're doing something that you're doing safely, and you're not like going so far above and beyond, like if you're going so far as to have so much food on hand that there's no way you're ever going to eat it all, and that it's just spoiling and you're not using it and you're just throwing it away, that's overboard. If you have so much water on hand that you're never going to be able to drink it, and that, you know, you're just kind of hanging on to it, and eventually the plastics in it are just going to leach in their you know, their nasty chemicals and whatnot, and you're not going to be able to drink it anyways, well then, again, maybe you're going too far. But if you have enough food to be able to last you a little while, you're eating it, you know, as you're going along, and replacing it after a little while, kind of thing, then that's fine. You know, and same kind of logic goes with pretty much anything else that you're doing in life. If you're able to just do it to kind of be happy about it, to, you know, being safe about it, not going so deep into it that you're, you know, going overboard, quote unquote, then yeah, it doesn't matter what other people say about it. just because they don't see the practicality in it doesn't mean that it's necessarily wrong. So, anywho, like I said, now that the tirade is officially over, let's move on to channel memberships. I want to talk about the memberships real quick. Thank you all for my tier 2 members. Thank you so much for signing up and being channel members. I greatly appreciate it. Crimea River, thank you so much for being the original member to the channel, the original tier 2. Mark K, thank you. And Deco, thank you. Thank you all for being members. It helps the channel out so much for sustainability and for helping me improve the channel, improving the content, and just bringing out as best of a product that I could possibly bring out. I really greatly appreciate it, and I really look forward to the day when we can really start, bringing these things to fruition and really kind of getting that deeper content that I keep talking about. It's going to happen. It's just once the gates are able to be opened up and open safely is when it's going to happen. So thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to help support the channel, please check out the join button on the channel page. You can get things like early access to edited videos. You can get custom emojis, custom badges, all sorts of stuff. So check it out. We have 2 tiers right now. One's at 99 cents a month and the other's at $4.99 a month. The amount of stuff that you get per membership varies. So if you want to support the channel, check it out. See what one best fits for you. I greatly appreciate anybody who's looking at it and checking it out. It is, like I said, very much appreciated. Brandon, how's it going? Thank you for joining us here tonight. How are you doing? Let's see. Let's go and unload the New Holland up here. Just gonna empty this out and get everything rolling for the next contract. There we go. Let's see, it looks like... Oh no, I am missing stuff here too. You know what's funny is I don't think I've ever really noticed just how large this trailer is. And I don't know why. Like, it looks like it should hold more than roughly 40,000 liters. Maybe even 30,000 is what it actually looks like it can hold. Not a whole lot, Brendan. What you up to? How's things going with you? Gudmonk. Hey, just found your channel, decided to check it out. What's going on? Hey, I appreciate you coming and checking out the channel. How are things going with you tonight? You know what, Brendan? I am doing fantastic tonight. Having a really good night so far. Good day so far, actually. I was explaining earlier in the stream how I just received a promotion at work that I'm really excited about. It's definitely going to be a great opportunity for myself and for my family. So really happy about that. And yeah, just having a really good time, real good day, and always having fun time hanging out with everybody, seeing how everybody's day is going, and just having a great time on stream. Let's see. Good, Monk. I'm doing good. Hey, glad to hear it. I always love it when I hear people having a good day. It's one of those, like I said, I certainly hear plenty of bad things going on, nowadays, that whenever I hear somebody's having a good day, it just makes it that much better, kind of thing. Let's see. That's good. Yeah. No, it's like I said, it's one of those that I'm just really excited, really really happy, especially kind of the circumstances and how it worked out. Just a quick recap of what I was talking about earlier. Turns out the CEO of the company personally recommended me for this new position. Not even with my knowledge about it. So it was one of those that they were talking about me, behind my back and just, singing my praises. And I was just really excited and happy that I made such a good impression on them, kind of thing, that they personally kind of stuck their neck out and, did that kind of kindness for me. So really, really awesome thing for me and for my family. So I'm pretty happy about it. What kind of content do you do here on YouTube? Well, as you can tell, I'm doing the live stream here. I also do Let's Plays, shorts, and map tours and map updates. From what I understand, I'm one of the few content creators who actually goes through and lists out all the kind of change logs and the kind of history of record for any map that hits the Farming Simulator mod hub for all console, or for all platforms, I should say. So anything that will hit Xbox, PS5, Xbox, PlayStation, and Mac and PCs, I will sit there and do an entire chronicle of the kind of start to finish of a map. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do here on YouTube, and then just come on here on stream. So what these streams tend to be, just to give the new people kind of a heads up. So what these streams are the kind of in-between points of the Let's Play series. So this one in particular is the second recording of the post episode number 7 of my Let's Play series here on Hills of Tuscany. And the reason that I set these live streams up in that particular fashion is to kind of try and avoid the potential issues that happen to other big streamers like a Mr. Sealy P, or I've heard it sparingly from DJ Goham, but Mr. Sealy P has really kind of voiced his concern about this. And what he experiences are people coming onto his channel and claiming that he's either porting money in, or he's not being honest with the ways that he's generating money for his Let's Plays. You know what? This is just driving me nuts. Why is the worker doing this? Anyways, so this is kind of a way to help avoid those kind of things potentially happening to this channel. And this is the kind of space where we can all just kind of hang out, relax. We can sit here and talk about Farming Simulator. We can talk about other things, with little exceptions. There's this obviously isn't going to be, a forum for every single topic under the sun, but, certainly open to talk about, pretty much anything that, is going on and affecting our kind of day-to-days. Like I said, it's one of those, if you're having a good day, a bad day, if you want to come on here and say, hey, I'm having, kind of a rough day and want to talk about it on stream, I'm more than happy to hear people out. And I might not have an answer for every situation. I might not have an answer for any situation, but I can certainly talk, and hopefully that talking, can help bring just a little bit of, help bring some alleviation to the problem, kind of thing. Oftentimes I find that anybody who has a problem, if they're just able to talk about it and kind of vent about it, it helps, kind of thing. So, not saying that I'm, going to be kind of the online therapist or anything like that, but just one of those that, yeah, that's kind of what this channel is all about. It's just a space to have fun, to be able to come out and enjoy ourselves, to hang out as a community, and just have some good times, to be entertained, is essentially what I try and describe this channel as, is a source for entertainment, not for not for the silliness that can lurk on the internet, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's kind of an overview of what this channel is about and what we're trying to do here. Let's see. That sounds good. What kind of content? All right, yeah. So that's pretty much what we're up to here. Right now we're just working on a couple of contracts. We got contracts for Field 81 and what was it? 7. So we're just trying to get these complete and get some extra money for the Let's Play series that we got going on at the moment. Hey, Rusty Money, glad you're able to join us again. How are things going for you tonight? There we go, let them go. Well, this is working out pretty good, actually. I'm able to now kind of maintain and keep them going without having them stop, so we're getting to a good point here. Let's see. Feeling better finally than the last few days. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Was something in particular happening, or? Or something that you care to elaborate on stream? Let's see. Just about emptied here. We might actually just go in. Oh no, if we only got 80%. Yeah, we're 80% full. We'll let them get full up one more time before we take this out. Where does this one go? This is 7. So we got the 0 km and the restaurant. I don't think I've been to no, I haven't been to the restaurant yet, so that's gonna be a first. Let's see. Rusty Money, I used to watch you a lot. Let's see. Still creating. Oh, had a cough, fever, and congestion. Negative for nasty, but treated. Gotcha. Yeah, that stinks. It's never fun when you're sick, especially when it's, that bad. You're taking measures to prevent pneumonia and whatnot. So, yeah, it must have been rough. But glad to hear that you're feeling better. Certainly glad to hear that. Let's see. Good Monk, I got out of Farming Simulator for a little bit. That's why I stopped watching. Ah, gotcha. Man, I don't know what it is here lately, but it really feels like we're losing a lot of really big people nowadays. We just had the American Falls map release, and in it there was in the description the Lancy Boy describing how they're not going to be creating maps and mods anymore. And I'd mentioned in the last stream how we haven't seen Alien Jim in a while, and just there's so many big modders out there that I just feel like are just not around, or not going to be around for whatever reasons that they have. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame, because we're talking, like, in my opinion, titans of the modding world for Farming Simulator 22. Lancy Boy, a titan in this space. Alien Jim, a titan in this space. And it's just one of those that it's really sad, because I can look back at a lot of the mods that they made for 22 and for FS19, and I really started cutting my teeth on Farming Simulator on FS19. So it's one of those, like, I really kind of look back on that as kind of my starting point as to the kind of heyday for those particular modders, like Lancy Boy, like Alien Jim. And and seeing that, they're either not going to be around or they're sparsely around, kind of thing. And like I said, I haven't seen Alien Jim since he made the rock crawl map. That was the last thing I can remember that was published by him. And yeah, it's really really sad to see these really big, really well known creators, not going to be creating anymore, kind of stuff. It's a real dark day in the modding world, in my opinion. But it's one of those too that it will offer an opportunity for a lot of the lesser known creators to really take the reins and to, you know, step up to the plate, kind of thing. It's one of those that when you have these spaces where all of a sudden you create a void, well, hopefully you have a force that's strong enough to fill that void, kind of thing. And hopefully we have creators out there who are going to step up and to fill the voids that creators like Lancey Boy, like Alien Jim, are leaving behind, kind of thing. And I personally wish them nothing but the best, and I hope that whatever they're going through, either works themselves out. And as Jody and I were discussing at the beginning of the stream, hopefully Lancey Boy is just taking a hiatus for the rest of FS22, and hopefully we'll come back maybe in FS25 or whatever later iterations there are, kind of thing. Certainly keep it on a positive and really hope that that's the case. But yeah, just one of those. It's sad. It's really sad to think of these big well-known creators who have made such iconic and memorable contributions to the farming simulator community are now no longer a part of the community, or no longer an active part of the community. They'll always be a member of the community. It's just that they'll take their time to kind of reset, kind of thing. At least that's what I hope, is that they're just taking their time to reset. Maybe they got life things going on to where they need to focus on life rather than on gaming. Here's hoping. Crimea River, Rusty Money, and glad that you're doing better. And Rusty Money, thank you, Crimea River. Worst part right now, oops, got a turn here, are the side effects from the medicine, and it hurts to laugh, cough so much on them. Oh yeah, no, I can only imagine. That's, yeah. When you got something that's affecting your lungs like that, when you're doing like pneumonia protocols and stuff like that, any kind of stimulation on that particular organ is just torture at that point. Oh my goodness. There was one time where I'd gotten really really sick when I was really younger. Maybe I think I was in early teens, kind of thing, and they were doing the protocols for pneumonia and stuff. I didn't have it, but they were, like what you were saying, they were just doing the protocols to prevent it, kind of thing. And yeah, it was just so painful to take any kind of deep breaths. They had me on that little blowing machine where you had to take a deep breath and then blow to get the ball to rise and stay above a certain line for X amount of time, kind of thing. And that was just absolute torture. It was at that point I thought that the nurse just hated me, something fierce, that she just wanted to see me just be miserable. And it wasn't until I got older and started realizing, no, that's just them trying to get you to exercise your lungs so they don't atrophy, kind of thing. So that was the young mindset versus the now adult mindset, and realizing no, they're not trying to torture you. They're just they have a thing that they're trying to do for you, and just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not necessary. Let's see. Crimea River, sorry to hear that, Rusty Money. I've had pneumonia and it's not fun. Yeah, no, it really is not. It really is not. Rusty Money, thank you, Crimea River. Have had it 3 times in my life, and all were hospitalized. Thankfully, not this time. Wow. Wow. Yeah. No. Like I said, I've had it. I didn't have it, but I was in the protocols to prevent it, and yeah, it was torture. So I could only imagine having it like full blown, to where you're hospitalized, and it's already miserable enough to be in a hospital, being away from your home where you're most comfortable, away from your bed. And that's, to me, that's the worst part about being at a hospital, being at a hotel, anything like that. Is I love my bed, you know, for all of its faults and foibles. It's my bed. I love it. I'm used to it, and being away from it for any reason, whether it's for, you know, good or for bad, is torture in and of itself. And then again, you get all the nursing staff who comes in the middle of the night, and of course it's always right when you fall asleep. You're just getting into that kind of groove to where you can start to relax, start to get comfortable, quote unquote, as comfortable as you can be, and all of a sudden you get that knock on the door and they come barging in, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, really? And that's when they want to do all the tests where you got to get up out of your bed, or you got to do, you know, X and Y and Z. That's going to completely ruin any chance of you being able to fall back asleep quickly. It's just, it's no fun. It's no fun. But thankfully, in the end, you didn't have to be hospitalized, and you were able to, you know, start to feel better and, you know, get on the path of recovery. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Really, really am. Let's see. Oh, hey, they're full. Let's see, where are they? Oh, they're right there. So now we can take our first trip to the restaurant. This is the absolute first time I've ever been to the restaurant outside of my map tour, when I first did that way, way back in the day. And I can't even remember when I did that map tour. That was, feels like forever ago. And actually, if I remember properly, when I did the map tour is when I was doing the whole slew of map tours. So for those who've been a viewer of my channel for a really long time, there was a point in time where I had decided that I was going to do the map updates and keep up to date on all the changes that a single map will go through over its entirety in FS22. And when I decided to do that, I basically decided that, well, in order to do this and to be meticulous and whatnot, and probably a little OCD on top of it, I decided that I needed to go back and cover all the maps that I had not performed a map tour on. And there was a lot at that point, because I basically started my YouTube channel several months into FS22. So you can only imagine just how much material had been released in the Mod Hub when I decided to make my channel and to start producing content. Well, then it was several months after that when I decided, you know what, I need to do, or I want to do the updates with the change logs to these maps. So we're talking maybe a solid year worth of maps that have been, you know, loaded in. Maybe several months at that point. And yeah, there was just at that point where I was doing 2, 3, 4 map tours a day, trying to get as much of them done as possible, to where I could then turn my focus on to being able to just keep up to date with the, you know, change logs, with the map tours and all that stuff. And I think when I did this map tour is when that kind of whole slew of maps were being both released, and me kind of doing the back catalog of the already then released content. So it was one of those, I was just trying to, as quickly and as thoroughly as possible, get all the tours out of the way. And at that time too, I was doing the tours in such a way that would also include the update logs up until that point at the time of recording. So that way I could then go forward and say, okay, well, we had 1.0.0.0 release. Well, this is 1.0.0.1, and then give the change log and all that stuff. So yeah, it was just one of those that oh, no, don't hit me, don't hit me. I know you're going to. Let's see, so I think, oh, this is gonna take me through that little town up ahead. All right, so just over this hill here is the vineyard. Just beyond that, behind this whole olive grove right here, is the friend of the family vineyard. Now, up this hill and down the street going south, there's this really cool little town that, you know what? I'll just save it and show it to you when we get there, because it's actually a really, really cool feature on this map. Come on, tractor, you can do it. 37,000 liters worth of corn. There we go. Yeah, so you can see like the kind of built up town here with the wall. It's very like old, and I don't know if ornate is the proper word, but you've got this kind of outer wall right here. It almost looks like an old like fortified city from way back in the day kind of thing. That's what it almost reminds me of, is you got the kind of wall that would have surrounded the city, and then like it kind of got built up to modern times. Looks like, yeah, it looks like go this way. Oh, so there's a biogas over there. That's the big biogas. Oh, now this is cool. See, again, so I was mentioning earlier how when I'm on certain maps, I get that kind of feeling in between my shoulder blades, that kind of hair on the back of your neck kind of tingling and rising and all that stuff. This area right here is doing that for me right this second. This is so cool. Like, look at this little like restaurant right on the lakeside here. You got these cool little, looks like almost cypress trees right here. The rustling of the water going on in the background, the dock area. Like, I could imagine like actually being at this location, like if this was a real life place, being here, coming to the restaurant, just eating along the lakeside here. Just how cool is that? That is, whoops, wrong button. Let's see, I think I'm gonna sell or get rid of all this corn here in this load. Let's see. Got my finger over the trigger just to be safe. Nope, cool. 85%, so it's the next trailer load that I bring here is going to have the overage. That was actually quite a distance to get over here, but now I'll be able to get up these hills with no problem. Can only imagine trying to get up this hill with a full trailer like that. Ooh, oof, that would be rough. Let's see. So let's go this way. This takes me to the main road that will lead me past the vineyard. Oh, I didn't even realize that the Deutzfahrer I'm driving here goes 39 miles an hour. Wouldn't have been able to figure that out since I was so overloaded with all that corn. So right here you've got this kind of garden center right next to the vineyard, but there's an area just behind it that I really haven't figured out what it is. You know what? Let me ask you all this. Maybe you all know. Let me bring it up on the screen here real quick. So there's the garden center right here, but tucked away just back here, There's this area here. I have no idea what this is. No idea whatsoever. And it looks like there's, you know, a good amount of wood chips that you can have access to if you own the property. And I think you actually already do own the property. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it. Where am I? Over here. Yeah. Okay, no. So I don't own this property. But it almost looks like a kind of... You know, I don't know. Just like a little storage area, maybe? Got a little washing station here. A storage area for, again, what looks to be wood chips. I think that's wood chips. So, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. Maybe it's like a kind of a... something to go with the garden center. Maybe it's like equipment storage for the garden center, maybe? And then the wood chips would be, you know, from any product that would have come and died. I don't know. Maybe? I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know if any of you got any ideas, because me personally, that's about as best of an idea as I can come up with for that little area there. Otherwise, it's just a storage station that you're just kind of able to purchase and use. Alright, so we're going to get back to field 7. We're going to unload that. And actually, we should be getting really close to the end of that contract. Actually, it looks like it is over because the workers stopped. They're not going anywhere. Crimea River, I have no clue either. I'll have to look at it tomorrow. Yeah, please do, because it's one of those, like... I've looked at it several times, and everything that I've seen about it just... That's about the best explanation that I can come up with, is that it's just kind of a part of the garden center, and that it's just intended to be one of those areas where you can actually just, for storytelling maybe, like have the equipment storage that would be associated to the garden center, or maybe even like a staging area for like a logging portion. But you have those kind of areas around the forest areas on this map as well. You actually have real big canopies that are on the outskirts of a lot of the forests on this map. So I don't even think it's that. I think it has something to do with just being around that garden center. Let's see. Now we're going to take this. Actually, I'm going to have the worker drive it over there. Let's have them go. Let's see if we can actually get them to go here with no problems. It cannot reach your destination. Oh, goodness. I don't know why, but I really like this tractor. Nothing about it is in particular special or anything like that. It's just kind of the aesthetics of it that I kind of like about it. The kind of tealish blue and with the offset silver white kind of, I don't know. And then it's got the roll bars in the front that protect the kind of engine bay and all that stuff. I don't know. It to me, it just looks sharp. But again, it's one of those that the tractor itself is not that special. It's not like it's super powerful or anything like that. It's just, you know, oh, that's something I just noticed. Look at the step. There's a step right there. I never noticed that before, but the step folds away. That's kind of a cool feature. Alright, so that's good. Let's go back. Oh, you only made it down the road? Oh my goodness, AI workers, you know you. Oh goodness. It's one of those that I'm thankful that the AI system is in the game, that it will drive from point A to point B, that it will farm a field, that it will harvest, do all that kind of stuff. I just wish that it was better. I just wish that it, worked to what we all imagine it should do. You know, again, I'm grateful it's there because it's certainly a step above from what we had in, FS 19, 17, so on and so forth. It's one of those that at least it will get you there, but it's not going to get you there efficiently. It's not going to get you, it's not going to harvest everything at the maximum ability that you could do, kind of thing. It's not going to just get everything in one pass, as you can plainly see from the last field. It's just one of those that there's a lot of quirks. A lot of quirks with this game. And that's, my opinion, it's part of its charm, are those quirks. Things that you kind of learn to live with and to kind of grow with. Let's see, so we got 8,700, so that would mean that we had roughly 45-ish thousand liters. So that means that I should be able to keep around 4,000 liters is going to be my guess. Yeah, that's gonna be my rough guess. Let's see how close I am. Around 4 to 4,500. All right, we'll pull up here. Alright, finger over the trigger. Let's see what it does. Oof. I was a little slow on that one. Alright, well, 3,500 liters isn't bad. I'll certainly take that. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat. That is a nice looking tractor. I agree, it is a nice looking tractor. And sometimes you have to chase them down. Oh... Oh, Crimea River! Really? We had to go there. We had to bring up me running after equipment. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for those of you who might not realize what Crimea River is talking about, there was a episode in the Valley of the Old the Valley of the Old Farm that was the previous Let's Play I did before this current Let's Play, and of course, and there was a short. So typically my shorts consist of bloopers that exist on the channel. Those are the vast majority of my content for shorts. Well, what ended up happening was me kind of putting the horse before the cart, or how the cart before the horse. And what I mean by that is I was basically running back and forth between the shop and the farm, and I had a situation where I decided to let the worker take the harvester out to the field. Well, it just so happened I was then having to run to the farm, and then it dawned on me, well, gee, why don't you just drive the harvester to the farm, because you're driving past the farm with the harvester. So it was one of those moments where I realized, oh no, and hey, I can catch the moving harvester that's already halfway down the road if I, start running really fast. So I'm chasing after it, just, and of course getting a little over animated during the whole during the whole thing. I'm sitting there kind of making a scene about it, and yeah. So if you're at all interested, go ahead and check out the shorts. It's certainly in the catalog somewhere in there, because that was a good one. So yeah, kind of the inside the channel kind of information there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and drop this off. So far, we got 3 contracts done. I think we got a couple more that could do. Wait a minute. Oh, that one's still going. Okay, never mind. For some reason I thought all 3 were done. It's only the 2. I tell you what, I really do. Whoa, getting out of control there. I really do like this silo setup. This is a really unique setup here. All right, that perfect. And now, that is such a cool thing. That is such a cool feature. That little step. I've never noticed that step before. All right, we'll do that. Now let's see what we got here. We've got another corn. Ooh, sugar beet. We're gonna avoid the sugar beet one because that's 4 acres. 45. What is 45? You know what? If I take a sugar beet contract, that's gonna take probably long past midnight to finish that. So yeah, we're gonna avoid the sugar beets. Oops. So let's go ahead and take the corn and soybeans. We got a lot of corn and soybeans going on right now. Let's see. So, oof. Big case harvester here. Hey, at least the header is upright. So, for those who didn't make the very beginning of the stream, when I accepted my first 3 contracts, this header, this corn header, same exact one by the way, and I don't know why it happened on the first one but not this one. This whole header was pointing straight up. That is the way it spawned. The tines were just sitting upright in the air. I had to, well, at first I tried to just knock it over with my harvester that I had, and when that wasn't working, it was more just a big kind of rodeo going on here in the shop area. I remembered far too late and pretty embarrassingly late if you ask me, that I have access to that forklift over there. So I went and grabbed the forklift, knocked it over, and was able to hook up to the harvester. It's one of those things that, like I said, it's almost embarrassing when you kind of realize, you know, kind of a good story, and kind of emphasizes the point I'm getting ready to make. Have you ever had one of those situations where you're sitting there looking for something and it's in your hand, or it's like hooked onto you somewhere? It's like right in your immediate person kind of thing. It's kind of that level of embarrassment when you kind of realize, oh, it's been here the whole time, or hey, I'm hanging on to said item in my hand kind of thing. But something happened to me not too long ago, actually. Yeah, so it's 42 this is going to. Oh, okay, so 99 is way over there. 42 is down there. Okay, so let's... We're actually going to have to turn this train around and go in this direction. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting field to harvest. It's actually going to be a very interesting field to harvest. That's not one that you're going to just be able to turn a worker loose and have them get everything either. Kind of has that little peninsula down there on the southeastern corner of it. Oh, why do I do that? Well, they're still going. No lights on. Anyways, I was sitting there starting to tell a story. Wait a minute. What is that doing here? Oh, that's the contract from over there. Okay. Whew. Oh, goodness. I'm just scatterbrained right now. Anyways, so I wear glasses. That's something that I've worn since probably, I don't know, since I was like 10, 11 years old. Somewhere in that ballpark. And I recently decided to get prescription sunglasses. There it goes. And the reason I decided to do this is because for the longest time I would get the transition lenses and all that stuff. Well, why is the tractor facing? You know what? You're not even gonna. Anyways, so I decided to this most recent time not get the transition lenses, because what had been happening is that I had been going so long in between getting the updated prescriptions and all that, that the glasses would start to get dry rotted. Like the film that they would put over the glasses that would do the transitioning and all that stuff, it would start to dry rot because it was just that old. It was, years old kind of thing. And it's not that I was just being lazy kind of thing. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to get actual prescription sunglasses, because that way, I won't have to deal with the film. It's an actual type of lens kind of thing, and it's not going to just one day start to flake up and get nasty kind of thing. And it's also going to make the regular glasses I do have be able to last a little bit longer, because it's going to be less films and stuff that are going to potentially dry up and rot away. Well, what ended up happening was I was out and about somewhere, and I carry around a glasses case that has either my sunglasses or my regular reading glasses, or my everyday glasses, not reading glasses. And normally what I do is I'll just carry a case around in my pants pocket and switch them out as I need them. So if I'm out driving somewhere, I'll put on my sunglasses. If I'm out like indoors, then I'll wear my normal glasses kind of thing. Well, what ended up happening was I was sitting there, and we were getting ready to leave the restaurant. I think we were at no, it wasn't. Anyways, not important. And while I was getting everything together, I was paying for the check and all that stuff. And when I was getting everything together, I grabbed my glasses out of the case and I'd set them down on the table, but I had the glasses in my hand. And having my normal glasses on my face, what I was going to do is then just grab the case on the way out kind of thing and just swap them around when I got outside, so I wasn't blinded by the sun. Well, I'm sitting there fiddling around with the check and getting ready to pay, and then all of a sudden I got distracted because X, Y, and Z. I think I was gathering up the leftovers and all that stuff. And with the glasses still in my hand, I look down and I see the empty glasses case on the table. And my mind all of a sudden is like, where are my sunglasses? And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling my face. I'm like, okay, well, I've got my glasses on. I know where those are. But where are my sunglasses? And I'm looking around. The whole time I'm holding them in my hand. They're in the palm of my hand. And I'm sitting there and I'm getting a little bit like madder and madder and madder. It's like, what did I do with my glasses? I'm sitting there asking my wife, I'm like, babe, have you seen my glasses? Do you know what happened to my glasses? She's like, no, babe, why would I know where their glasses are? I don't know what you did with them, kind of thing. So, and it's like, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. Something goes on my face, not on yours. And then I must have set my hand down on the table in defeat at some point. And my wife looks at me and she's like, sweetie, you were looking for your glasses, right? It's like, yeah. Like, I'm really upset. I'm really mad that I can't find them. And she's like, are you feeling okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm just upset that I can't find my glasses. It's like, no, babe, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And at this point, I'm starting to get a little upset because she's like asking me over and over, am I okay? And I'm like, why do you keep asking me if I'm okay? She's like, well, because you're holding onto your glasses in your hand. And I looked down, and sure enough, there they are, just in my hand. And it was one of those, like, it was almost scary when I kind of sat there and thought about it after the fact. It's like, whoa, like, what was that? Why did I go through all that range of emotion when I was literally just holding them, kind of thing? It was very wild experience. And then, of course, my wife the rest of the night started, making fun of me. She's like, man, you really are getting old. Oops. There we go. So yeah, it was one of those that that was a very interesting way to top off the dinner. But I know that I am not the only one, because she has done something similar. But hers, at least it wasn't in her hand. Like, again, it was glasses, but she doesn't wear like prescription glasses. She just has sunglasses. And she'll clip her glasses around like her shirts and like the collar on her shirts and stuff like that. And I think she was just way too tired and way too busy with the baby, because this happened just a few weeks ago. And she looked at me, she's like, have you seen my glasses? And I'm like, you mean those things that are hanging around your neck? And she goes to reach up for them, she bumps them, and she kind of rolls her eyes, and it's like, oh man. And then I looked at her, and it's like, it's tough getting old, isn't it? Because she made fun of me all those years ago. And what was really funny is she actually knew that was the moment I was talking about. And she's like, you've been waiting forever for something like that to happen to me, haven't you? And I'm like, you know what, babe? Every single day I've been waiting for something like that to happen to you, just so I can have this one moment of, of payback, of this is how it felt, kind of thing. But at least with her, it wasn't like it took forever and she was getting upset and frustrated about it. Like, it was one of those, like, I noticed it right away when she asked, and she hadn't been looking for that long, so she hadn't had the opportunity to go through that kind of range of emotion like I did. Because when we were at the restaurant, I had my hand in my lap. I was holding the glasses down below the table, so I just didn't actually notice it. It wasn't until I brought it up to the top of the table is when my wife noticed that they were in my hand. But it was one of those, like, just, it was tough. It was tough getting through that one. Cry Me a River, it happens to me often. It's one of those that, like I said, when it happened to me, it actually, like, worried me. Like, I was genuinely worried for, probably the rest of the day. It's like, why did that just happen? Why was I so worked up? Why did I get so upset about it? Number one, and the reason I got so upset about it is because they're a prescription pair of glasses. They're hundreds of dollars. Well, actually, at the time, it was paid for by, my insurance provider, so it wasn't hundreds of dollars to me, but the set of glasses are hundreds of dollars. For anybody who wears glasses, you understand just how much, you know, they are valued at. But but yeah, no, it's just one of those, like, I gotten so bent out of shape and I was getting visibly upset. And whenever I get upset, you know, and this is something I have to work on personally, I need to get better about this, but whenever I get upset, I unfortunately have a tendency to voice my being upset, or at bare minimum, I kind of wear it on my face very pronounced. And whenever I get upset, it makes my wife upset. And it's one of those, it's mainly because then I'll start, like, kind of getting childish and just pointing out every little thing that's starting to bother me at that moment in time. So it's that kind of negative attitude that kind of brings her down too. And I need to get better about that. It's one of those that, you know, once I start getting into a bad attitude, it's hard for me to kind of pull myself out of, especially when I'm driving. Driving, I get really, really bad about. Because, again, I think I've talked about this on stream before, but for anybody who's ever driven in Florida, you'll understand when I say this, but Florida is a nightmare to drive in. And my hypothesis is because we are a mutt state. And what I mean by that is we've got pretty much everybody from every different state comes to this state, whether it's to vacation, whether it's to move, whatever the case may be. And every single state has their own kind of way of driving, has their own way of doing things. So, for example, and I'm sure Jody, you'll back me up on this. You know, you living in Georgia there, I find that Georgia drivers are very lead-footed and can be, especially in the Atlanta area, very aggressive. And what I mean by that is you'll be coming up to an exit and be waiting in line, you know, that has backed up to that exit. Oops. Hold on one second. My wife is trying to get my attention. I'll be right back. Alright, so sorry about that. Wife was heading off to bed and she was telling me her good nights. Anyways, so like I was saying, Jody, you'll very likely back me up on this, but the drivers there around Atlanta, at least where I was at, are extremely aggressive. And by aggressive, what I mean is if you're in line waiting to get off the interstate or something like that, and it would be very often, especially during rush hour traffic, that traffic would back up onto the highways because there's just so much traffic trying to get off at any given intersection or any given off ramp. And what would happen is that the lines would be so backed up that people who had not reached the line yet would then start to pass the line in the lane closest to the line that wasn't backed up going onto the off ramp. And what they would do is the moment that even a penny width of room would open up between you and the next car, they would just dart right on in there. They would have no issue with just cutting you off and getting into that space kind of thing. And it's one of those that you just got used to it. With driving in the area, you were just expecting it. You could eventually kind of adapt and be able to predict when it was going to happen kind of thing. You know, same thing in Michigan where I grew up. They have a driving style all their own. You know, typically people do very well on following the fast lane rule. You know, so for those who are not familiar with it, is if you're in the right lane, that's the lane you're supposed to drive in on the highway. at all times, and you're only ever supposed to get into the left lanes or anything further than the right lane to pass. That's the only reason you're ever supposed to be in there, and then you're supposed to return right back into the lane as soon as you pass slower traffic. Well, the reason I call Florida a mutt state is because of all the people from all over the country that come here and whatnot, and they bring their driving style with them. And what happens is that their driving styles tend to clash with one another. So driving down here is incredibly difficult at times because you have so many different people trying so many different maneuvers and so many different types of styles of driving that things get clogged, congested, they're unpredictable. There's really no way of you being able to come out and be able to know with certainty what... Whoa. So that's what happened there. But you have no way of, with any certainty, understanding what any person is going to do at any given time, kind of thing. So it's just one of those that you try your best to predict the unpredictable kind of thing. So yeah, long story short, and I forget why I started to tell that story, and I think it's because I got distracted with wishing my wife good night. Yeah, now I kind of lost it. Let's see. So what I could potentially do is I might be able to scoot over to the right just a bit, or to the left I mean, and be able to kind of get the rest of this and start the worker off. I don't know, we'll see. Empty this out fully, and what I'll do is I'll get this, move forward out of the way. Get this kind of moved over to make sure I'm not gonna miss anything. Perfect. So turn that off. Now let's go here. Wow, it's already in game. What is that, 3:03? Wow, time is flying, especially for it being real time. Oh, well, I mean, you figure we started the stream at what, 9:30? So yeah, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Get our headland in. So this is the one that's going to be an interesting... So when I set the worker off, it's pretty much going to be a north-south on this side of it. And I'm likely not going to get all of it. Likely I'm going to have to actually like start the worker off again once they kind of reach that little peninsula in the southeast corner of the field. But that's okay. I think we'll be able to kind of work our way through it. Yeah, because if I go in this direction, I'm definitely going to miss either the peninsula or that kind of fat bottom portion, the lower left-hand side of the field, so the southwest side of the field. So I think going north and south is going to be the best way to do it. Let's see. So how does this look? All right, so this is a pretty straight edge right here. up into this corner. It just kind of tails off. I tell you what, I love this map. The fields and the shapes and the undulations on this map are just, they're really, really good. It makes farming just not challenging, but just gives it that little bit of depth beyond just the straightforward kind of farming. You really kind of have to strategize how you're going to attack a field, how you're going to proceed. You know, like I was doing there before, you know, trying to decide, should I go north, south, east, west, a combination, somewhere in between, who knows, kind of thing. But you have to actually think about it. You can't just, oh, well, I'm just going to press the worker button and get going kind of thing. I mean, I guess you could, but then you're, you know, at the mercy of the AI gods. And, you know, we kind of discussed how they can be. One of those, if you had to leave your fate in the hands of the AI of this game, then you might as well just say sayonara kind of thing. Let's see, so with this I'll probably end up doing 2 headlands. Yeah, probably 2 headlands just to be able to make sure there's going to be enough room, because there's enough obstructions around the edges here to where if I didn't do 2, likely I'd have really big spots where the worker just wasn't getting it. Yeah, I think that'll work out just fine. And we are approaching 11:30 already. Holy smokes. I tell you what, I want to thank every single person who showed up tonight to hang out, to interact, and to have fun, because it's true what they say, that if you love what you do, then time truly does fly, and time has flown. You know, like I mentioned, we started the stream at 9:30. It's already 11:30 my time, and yeah, 2 hours. I felt like I just started. It's one of those that I greatly, greatly appreciate everybody who stopped in, who has taken the time to check out the channel. You know, hopefully you've enjoyed the live stream, enjoyed the content. For those new people who have shown up tonight, I appreciate you. At bare minimum, just stopping by and checking it out. You know, that's excellent to me. Let's see. So let's go ahead and finish off this second headland, and then we'll set the worker off. And like I said, we'll set them off on this side of the field, going north and south, and then we'll be able to kind of go back to the other fields and get their carts empty, because I'm sure the one up north of here, was it 81? Yeah, I'm sure that one's waiting for me. And I'm sure the other one by now is probably full up too. So I hope everybody's been having a good time so far, and if you have, I please ask that you hit the subscribe button for me. It does help out in the algorithms, and you know, increases the reach of the channel, so it does a great service for me, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So yeah, go ahead and check that out and leave your mark on the channel. Let's see. Rusty Money. Let's see. You're welcome, but I have to get some rest, so... Oh, what is going on? Whoa, sorry about that. Just continued and reversed. Just got a new subscriber to the channel, but I unfortunately missed the name. Thank you for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. Let me finish reading, Rusty Money, what you were saying there. Gonna have to get some rest. Get back to work tomorrow. Hey, you know what, Rusty Money? Thank you so much for coming to the stream again. I greatly appreciate it. Uh, Glad to hear, like I said, that you're feeling better, and hopefully we can get you back making some content and getting you back to 100% here soon. But hope you have a great night, get some good rest, and we'll hopefully talk to you again another time. Let's see, so you know what I might actually end up doing? So looking at this strip now, you see how narrow it's getting right here? I might just focus one more pass here on this little peninsula just to be able to not have to worry about the AI worker having to come out here later. If I can get this, because it looks like it would just take one more pass. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, look at how narrow that is now. That's one more pass for the most part in most areas. And if I clear out this area, then I can backtrack and... yeah, yep, that's what I'm going to do. Definitely going to do it, because look at that. Now we're out of the peninsula and we can just kind of turn around and sweep back up and get most of this. There we go, something like that. Check that out. Perfect. Let's see. Crimea River, good night, Rusty Money. See you, Crimea River, and thanks for the kind words. Have a good one. Whoops, and I'm reading and not paying attention to where I'm going. And I tell you what, that's the prime reason why I do not text and drive. That is the prime example. Because if I were to, I'd just end up driving through somebody's house or driving through the front of a store. And I don't feel like doing any of that. It sounds expensive. Alright, so we're just about caught up on this second headland here. We'll dump out whatever we have into the trailer that we're coming up to. You know what's wild? So I didn't make a full pass on the headland before, and I had almost a full cart, like a full tank on the harvester here. It was pretty full, but we're about to the same point as we were when we came to drop off the stuff at the trailer the last time. And actually, before I dump this out, I'm going to see just how much is in the trailer before dumping it. Because right now we're at... okay. 62,061. Oh. Okay, so it's not as big of a difference. Well, we also took in all the extra peninsula bit over there. So, yeah, that's still... so what I was getting ready to say is it's shocking just how much of a reduction you get going from the most outer layer to a layer further in to the layer further in, so on and so forth. You always get that kind of diminishing return. And because we have something that actually shows scale... oh, you know what? I meant to unload. There we go. But anyways, like I was saying, because we have something that shows scale, so we got the numbers and liters, you can actually see just how much that diminishing in return is as you make your way around the field and doing your headlands there. And it's like, it's for obvious reasons, like you know why it's happening, but it's just to see to what extent that diminishing return is. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that finds that interesting, but certainly one of those things that, again, one of those odd things that just kind of pops in my brain every once in a while. It's like, huh, that seems like it's a lot different than the most outer layer. Nope, we are missing. I thought we might have gotten away with the spacing, but not quite. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go here. Where is... Oh, there they are. So this one's just been sitting here probably for a while, waiting for me to unload. Alright, unload that. Then we'll go up to the soybeans. I'll probably have a worker just drive this over. Not deliver it, but just drive it there so I can focus on the other contract. There we go. Now this one is to the 0 km if I remember right. 81. 0 km. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Stop here. 0 km, that's over here. We'll want to go right there. Alright, avoid the car. There we go. So there's that. Oops. Wait a minute. Did the worker really just miss the whole lane? Oh, bless the AI. Bless them. They try. They try so hard. You just gotta love them. You gotta love them. It's really funny, like when you really kind of examine what it is that the AI worker has done, like what caused the AI worker to miss that whole lane. You know, again, more questions that just come into my brain. It's like, what were they thinking? Yeah, see, look at this. It's almost like I missed something here. 'Cause that's a weird edge for it to have. You know what? This one might be on me. Who knows? You know what? I'll take responsibility for this one. I can neither confirm or deny that this is exactly the fault of the AI worker, which means that I'm the only input that is available, so let's go ahead and just blame me. And because of how this field undulates going in that direction, I'm just going to change directions and go in this way. But that means that my trailer is going to be in the way. Now it does kind of stink because that means that the harvester will be doing a lot more turns, but I mean, not a huge deal. Resale cereal. Alright, so we're going up to the cereals. Come on, cool little tractor, you can do it. Let's see, is there a road right here? Oh yeah, yep, perfect. go. Out to the main road. We do not stop for traffic. Why would we do such a thing? Only if the traffic is going to hit us do we stop. We got things to do, places to be. That is an interesting looking building right there. Wait a minute. It is a repair trigger. Okay. So it's a gas station. Oh, there is... Okay, there is a repair site right there. I don't think I ever really noticed this. I've driven by it like 100 times and I just noticed the repair disc inside. Huh. Okay, well that's cool. It's amazing the things that you'll kind of breeze past and not really take much notice of. And then one little thing kind of catches your eye in just the right way, and then all of a sudden you kind of laser focus on all of it. Let's see, so we got to take this here. Alright, should be able to dump out everything here this trip. Let's see, so 99, 70% complete. %, transported. Awesome. Excellent. So not much more to go on that contract. Really on any of them, it should be. Maybe the one down in the south, that one probably has a bit more to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 2 wheels. Crimey River, the more you play, the more surprises you find. Absolutely. I was mentioning earlier, and I don't remember if you were on at this point, but I was mentioning just how, because I'm only 7 episodes into this whole Let's Play series, I'm still relatively fresh. Actually, I think you were in when I was talking about this earlier. I'm still relatively fresh and new to all there is on this map, kind of thing. And, oh, you know what? That's what I was talking about earlier when it came to me talking about the map tours. That's what it was. Okay, that's so because I'm so fresh to this this Let's Play, I'm still learning. Oh dear. There we go. Making my way through. But because I'm still so fresh and still learning where everything is and what is all here, I'm still getting that kind of, you know, feeling of excitement whenever I discover something or whenever I see something that's particularly nice. Like this scene right here, like the fall colors all interwoven in with what, again, I think that looks like cypress trees to me, those really tall, narrow trees there. But you got such a pretty landscape, the nice undulations and all that stuff, and it's just still to this time I still get that really good feeling of that kind of, you know, hairs in the back of your neck kind of feeling of, oh man, this is such a solid map. They did such a good job with this map. Well, let's get them emptied out. Oh, looks like I got straggly bits. Hey, good monk. I'm back. How's it going? Hopefully going well. Thanks for rejoining us. Oh my goodness, I cannot keep up. I cannot keep up. It's pulling away. No. Come back. Slow down. And that's when it fills up and it comes to a dead stop. Nope. Nope, not so lucky, I guess. Just get to the top of the hill and finally able to go more than 4 miles an hour. There we go. I was hoping to catch it before it slowed down, but oh well. Get this emptied out. I'm going to pick up these little straggly bits over here. Holy smokes. So you figure we got a lot accomplished here on this live stream tonight. We got, what, 6 contracts in the span of 2.5 hours? That's really not bad. We got a fair bit of product back at the farm. We're going to have some more to add to it once we get done with these contracts. All in all, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress we made. Move this over here. And it looks like probably have one more load before I need to take this up and sell it off. All right. There we go. Perfect. Now let's make our rounds. Nope, that is off. Oh, hey, I forgot about this. It's funny how you can sit there and get so busy with other things that you realize, oh, hey, you had this kind of important thing going on in the background. And I would say delivering a whole load of corn to be able to offload for the next cycle is kind of an important one. Probably one I shouldn't have forgotten. There we go. Helium deer. Can anybody else hear Santa's sleigh bells? Yes, I do have the occasional dad joke here on the channel. Now, the only thing that would have made that better is if I had like a soundboard or something like that with sleigh bells kind of on the ready to be able to just, you know, play that into the stream. That would have been top notch right there. And then, of course, some of the classics that have been established already on the channel. We got the wiggle bottom tractors. Haven't had any comments about the wiggle bottoms here lately. Well, not comments, but haven't had any real like talks about them here lately. Just because you figured the last Let's Play we did, pretty much every tractor we had was the wiggle bottom. And now all of a sudden we got all these fixed front wheel steer tractors, so no real need to bring them up. Whoa, easy there. Let's see. Soundboards are pretty easy to set up. I've not had any experience up until this point, but I'm sure that at some point that will be, you know, possibly in the cards to eventually get a soundboard and whatnot, and just have, you know, little funny sound effects or something. Who knows? Who knows? Just one of those that there are definitely certain occasions, and especially certain repeatable occasions, that could come in handy, especially when you got people like Farmer Cop is a good example. How he does the car crash every time he runs into something. Like whenever I watch his channel and I hear him hit that soundboard button, I always get a big giggle out of it. There we go. Let's see. You'll figure out how to do that. I'm sure it's not that difficult. Typically, when it comes to audio, you just have an input and an output kind of thing, and the boards itself. Now, there certainly are more high-tech ones, like Elgato has a really cool soundboard, and it's like programmable kind of thing, and you can put on certain like keypad pictures. It's got like little digital I don't call them televisions, but little LCD screens that you can customize for each individual button push that you have, instead of like having to label them with marker or something like that. You change the image on the button kind of thing, and that's cool, but not something that needs to be worried about here at the moment. It's one of those that there's probably much better things that I could use to kind of invest into the channel rather than just a soundboard. I don't know. We'll see. One of those, only time will tell. Let's see. We've got... Oh, yeah, plenty of room there. Plenty of room here. Oh, actually... that's almost done. Oh, but that is, again, another big strip right here. Maybe I should do a couple more headlands on this side. I think that's what I'll do. That way I don't have to keep coming back and cleaning up their mess. Godmonk, there's one called Voice Mod, and it's all over. Oh, it's on your computer. Voice Mod and so. Okay, I'll have to check that out, because is that something like freeware, or is it like something you have to buy into? I mean, I'm totally fine if it's something you have to purchase, but just out of curiosity. You say it's called, but you know what? Let me take a note of that, just so I don't lose that, because if that's something that I can just route through the computer, then it'd be something bare minimum to look into. And you know what? I don't even know why I didn't even think of that. To like route, to do like a soundboard through the computer itself. I don't know why I didn't think that was even an option. Like, I knew it was an option, just didn't think of it. Let's see. Let's get these little straggly bits. There we go. Oh. Perfect. There we go. Let's see. There's one called Voice. It's on your computer from Star. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll definitely Gonna make a note of that right now so I don't forget about it, because let's there's my notes. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Took a note of it, so I'll do a bit of research after the stream here and just kind of see if that's something that'd be worth looking into, worth installing. Because, like I say, it's not something that I would need or use that terribly often. It's just one of those kind of, whenever those kind of repeatable situations that unique to the channel kind of thing, I could see that kind of happening. Like the helium deer, Santa's reindeer and all that stuff. You know, could definitely see like jingling some sleigh bells in the background kind of thing to kind of add a little bit of something to it. But you know what? So the Rudolph, or I'm sorry, the Santa's reindeer just kind of reminded me of a funny story. I'm going to go ahead and tell it real fast. So my daughter here recently has discovered that we have the Google thing. So basically you shout the hey, and then, you know, Google, and it will the Google Assistant, that's what it's called. That's the words I'm looking for. And she's recently discovered that that's a thing. And what she has been doing here lately is in the mornings we'll shout at Google and say good morning, and Google will then turn on the lights and set the temperature in the home to a certain setting that we have it set to, you know, all that stuff. You know, we integrated the whole, you know, smart, quote unquote smart, and oftentimes it's, you know, rather unsmart. Anyways, we integrated a lot of that stuff into a lot of the components we have around the house. And as she's starting to get older and starting to like be able to put things together, she's realizing that she, you know, likes to hear these things. So what I've been doing here lately is when I say good morning, you know, she'll start saying more. She wants you to do it again, kind of thing. And so I've been telling Google to tell us jokes in the morning. And I'll tell you what, if you ask Google to tell you a joke, they're the stereotypical dad jokes. You know, don't get it wrong. But they're actually really good. Like, they're actually pretty funny. I'm trying to remember one. I was legitimately just like really kind of giggling really hard. Probably more than what I should have, but you know, being a dad, you know, I'm starting to learn a lot of these dad jokes, because I do plan on telling them to my daughter and in front of all of her friends when she gets older, because that's part of the privilege of being a parent, is having the ability to embarrass your kids every once in a while. Oops, let's not do that. But I'm trying to remember it now. And you know what? If I remember it, I'll tell it later. But yeah, it was pretty good. And it's one of those I don't want to get it wrong and, you know, butcher it kind of thing. So I want to pay it the respect I feel it deserves. There we go. We are all done with harvesting 42, correct? 80%. 42 is down here. Oh yeah, perfect. Why? There we go. So this is going where? 42. Oh, the restaurant. Okay, well. Wow, let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Perfect. So this is all done. Looks like only one trailer load, so that's nice. And we get to keep 31 3,100 liters, give or take. So that's not going to be bad. Ooh. All the weight of this trailer is really making it twitchy. Twitchy trailer. Yes, Amazon Alexa, they'll do the same exact thing. If you say, hey Alexa, tell me a joke, kind of thing, she'll sit there and just start, spouting out jokes, and they're typically the same thing, like a dad joke, oftentimes very dry and whatnot, but every once in a while they can tell you some gold. But it's rather funny because she just like any little child, she's a year and a half. Any little child will sit there and tell you, more, and they'll just keep asking for it like a million times over. And she is no exception to that, and it is absolutely hilarious. Oh, my best dad joke? Oh, goodness. Oh, you're going to put me on the spot for this one. Oh, goodness. And of course, this is where my mind's going to blank out and... And see, now my mind is only bringing up jokes that are extremely inappropriate to say over stream. So obviously those ones are going to be a no-go. I'm trying to think of some of the good dad jokes. I don't know. Google the other day said one, you can't, or you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. That was one that I got a little chuckle out of. It wasn't the gut buster like this morning. I tell you what, let me get back to you on it and see if I can think of one. Let's see, so 3,100 liters. That's what we're shooting for here. There we go. All right, 2,800. Let's see. Don't worry about it if you can't think of one or you can't say it. But it was funny. Yeah, so the ones that I can't say on stream, I certainly find them funny. But in the times that we live in, you never know how people are going to take a joke. Come on. There we go. All right, so you know what? We're gonna... What do you mean no field? Why are you looking for a field? You don't have any implements on you. Oh, AI. Gotta love the AI. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Why is it doing that? All right, you know what? That's fine. We'll just drive it. That's fine. Let's see. So we're gonna drop off this 2,800 liters. I'm actually curious how much corn we got in this episode. So all the corn that's in the silo right now is from contracts today. So I'm actually gonna check that out once we get there. Let's see. So am I heading the right direction? Yeah. Okay. I am. Let's see. And actually, it looks like 81 should be done. And 99. Looks like all the fields might be done. Ooh, so that's nice. Looks like all we got to do is deliver what remains and then take it back to the farm. So, whoa, 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 whoa. Twitchy trailer. Let's see. So we got the soybeans from 99 and we got more corn from 42, and 42 is the one I'm delivering here. Yeah, I mean, we got a ton of stuff done tonight. We really did. And this is going to go a long ways to be able to progress the storyline and get us... Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. Holy smokes. You just gotta love when you're driving down the road and you're, I don't know, your 20-ton tractor, and all of a sudden you get one of the biggest tongue slappers in the world just fishtailing all over the road. Nothing shouts farming simulator like fishtailing a, you know, several ton tractor with a several ton trailer. Gotta love it. It's actually funny. I was watching, actually it was Rusty Money's channel earlier today, and I ended up looking at one of the shorts that he has posted on there, and it looked like, best as I could tell, again, kind of going back to the whole farming simulator comment I just made, but what it looked like is he had two trailers that were linked up together. They were just kind of in tandem with each other. Wow, 6,400 liters of corn and 1,000 liters of soybeans. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and pick up the rest of this. But anyways, he had two trailers that were linked together. And he was delivering the trailer that was in the front. And what ended up happening, at least what it looked like, as best as I could tell, it looked like the trailer had opened and actually collided into the trailer in the rear. And the whole truck and trailer, or I think it was tractor and trailer that they had, just started flipping out of control, just going end over end, just from a seated position, like just standing there. Wasn't doing anything, it was just unloading. All of a sudden it's just flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And yeah, it was just absolutely hilarious. I was really laughing really hard at that one. Now, where did this one go again? 99 resale series. Okay. Good Monk, to answer your question, I don't have a set schedule as to when I stream, and the reason that is because the streams, like I was mentioning earlier, are set up in a way to be kind of the in between the main episodes of the Let's Play series. So what ends up happening is I'll record an episode of the Let's Play, and then depending on how that episode goes, I might be able to record another episode, or I might shift to the live stream kind of thing. So it's one of those that it's very kind of the spur of the moment. But what I do is I have the channel posts that I will make and let everybody know, hey, I'm going live, and I've set up specific times. Typically it's between 9:30 and 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at night that I'll go live, and I'll send out a notification via the posts. I'll also send out notifications on the channel itself. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll see, the going live at 9:30 or whenever the time is set for. You'll see that in your subscription feed. But then also on my various other social medias, I'll send out notifications to let everybody know going live at such and such time, and give a link to the channel and all that stuff. So it's one of those that if you subscribe, you follow along on any of the social medias, you'll be able to see when I go live, kind of thing. So no set schedule, unfortunately. The kind of trials and tribulations, as I mentioned, I am a father and a husband, so obviously they come first, and then also I work throughout the day, Monday through Friday. So it's one of those that my time is very limited to when after my daughter goes to bed at night, when I can actually hop on and do any kind of recording, whether it's Let's Plays, live streams, or whatever. So yeah, if you subscribe and you are enjoying yourself and enjoying the channel, then definitely subscribe, and you'll see the notifications come through one way or another. Let's see, Crimea River. BDD, I'm losing the battle to stay awake, so I'm going to sign off and get some sleep. Enjoy the live stream. Good night. Take care, and congratulations on your promotions. Thank you so much, Crimea River. I greatly appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us tonight. Not going to be too much longer, unfortunately. I'm going to probably finish up the last contract and delivering that out. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. I came all the way to the farm because I'm sitting there chatting away, not realizing I need to finish the contract. I need to take this over. I can't believe I did that. Okay, so this needs to go to... Thankfully, the sell point is not that far. I cannot believe I did that. Wow. But anyways, like I was saying, Crimea River, thank you again so much for stopping by and hanging out with us, and making it such a great place to be, and a great community to be a part of. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I completely drove right past it and not even paying attention. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And Gudmonk, if you haven't been able to notice so far, like I said, right now I live in the Eastern time zone. It's 12:15 at night, and as I mentioned before, I do work. So it's one of those that as the time gets later and later, and people who are familiar with the channel, like Crimea River, like Jody, they'll be able to tell you very, very quickly that as the night progresses and it gets later and later, I get ever more silly. Things like this just happen, and again, one of those things that gets far more comical as the night progresses, and I certainly don't mind being, laughed with or laughed at. So this is one of those moments where I feel that certainly a laughing at is in order, because I'm certainly laughing at myself at that point, because one of those, you either gotta laugh or you gotta cry, and you know what, I'm certainly not gonna cry on stream. Oh my goodness. Gotta love it. Just gotta love it. Alright, so now we're going to do what we were trying to do before and drop off the 1,500 liters, almost 1,600, to the silo. And then we can complete that contract. And then once that contract's done, we can then set our sights on the last one. And then from there, just probably call it... Whoa, hey, bushes. Probably call it a night after that, because... like I said, it's getting late. Okay, so let's pull this over here. And a little pro tip, if you've got a swivel axle trailer like I got here, if you have a tractor with a front 3-point link, it's a little bit easier, I find, to be able to drive, whoops, as I say it's a little bit easier and then prove that it's not. It's a little bit easier to drive a trailer with a swivel axle if you hook up in the front. So just a little tip. AT, hello, how's it going tonight? Thanks for stopping by. Hope that you're having a good night so far. Let's see, pull that out. Actually, didn't even have to do that. Could have just collected on it. There we go. Perfect. Now, what does that get us in the way of soybeans? 2,787. All right, not bad, not bad, not bad. Perfect. Where is that harvest? There's a harvester. So we're gonna go ahead and unload the last little bits here. Oof, that is a dirty, dirty harvester. Look at, oof, oof. It's been working hard. Good morning, AT. How you doing? You having a good morning so far? It is, oof, wow. Yeah, almost 12:30 my time, Eastern Standard. I can't believe the time has gone by so fast. Like I was mentioning it earlier, it feels like I've just started the stream. Now, I've completed 6 contracts up to this point, but it doesn't feel like it's been almost 3 hours. I can't believe it. Just time flies when you're having fun. And you know what? I really do have a lot of fun doing these live streams, hanging out with everybody, and just, just chatting, being able to, see how everybody's night's going, and, just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's good times, good times. Let's see. Good Monk, you're one of the best and most positive streamers I've come across, but I have to get off for the night. I have subscribed, so I won't miss the next stream. Hey, well, I appreciate you subscribing, and I appreciate the kind words. I certainly do try to keep it very positive around here. Give this place like a really good kind of vibe. Now, yeah, I'm human, so there's times where heavy topics may come up, or some things might be brought up that are not as positive, but I always do try to end it with some positivity to it. So hey, I greatly appreciate you stopping by, and I greatly appreciate you subscribing, and I look forward to the next time you get to hop on. We all get to hop on together and just have some fun. So I hope you have yourself a good night, and we'll talk to you again sometime in the future. So we are just about ready to empty this out. Again, gonna have to keep my finger over the Y button there to make sure that I don't sell everything off, or more than I have to. Let's see. There we go. Keep my eye on the money. Big money, no whammies. Perfect. 7,000 liters. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, nice. 7,629 liters. You can't be angry about that. I don't know why I came out this way. I don't have to go back to the field. Again, like I said, the later it gets, the sillier I get. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So head back to the... Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can get to the field this way, can't I? Yes, I can. I can get to the backside of the farm. So see, I'm learning the map. and this takes you right up to the backside, right up next to that little mini biogas plant there on the farm there. So that's awesome. I tell you what, it's really cool when you first start a Let's Play series on a map that you're not necessarily... Words, English, tough sometimes, but I can do it, I promise. Anyways, it's so cool when you start out on a new map and you're not familiar with it, but then you start playing with the map and getting familiar with it, and you eventually start learning all the areas and just all the little tips and tricks that you can pick up, you know, the road networks and all that stuff. It's just, you know, that whole rinse, lather, repeat thing. You eventually learn how everything is and how it's all set up, and then boom, you're good to go at that point, and you just can get to places. You don't have to have the map open like I do right now, you know, kind of thing, or you don't have to sit there and constantly reference it, you know, all the time. Holy smokes, 14,000 liters of corn. That's all in this live stream. This live stream, we've gotten over 14,000 liters. That's awesome. And 6,500 bucks. That's even better. I love making money. I love getting product. This is awesome. This is excellent. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But what I don't love is where we're at right now. It's time to sign off. I really appreciate everybody who showed up tonight. I really, really do. I had an absolute ball hanging out with everybody, and I hope that you all enjoyed it as well. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and yeah, this is, like I said, just such a great time. Such a great time. I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and y'all take care.